After I finished paying off my apartment, my sister-in-law suddenly declared it a family property and tried to move in. Seconds after I leaned in and whispered one short sentence, she screamed like her entire world had just shattered. And honestly, I couldn't remember the last time I laughed so hard. But this wasn't the kind of laugh you let out after hearing a clever joke or a witty comeback. No. This was the uncontrollable kind, the type that bubbles up when someone says something so ridiculously absurd that your brain refuses to process it as real. My sister-in-law, Clarissa, stood in front of me, arms crossed, brimming with confidence. She wasn't joking. She was serious. Dead serious. "We've already decided," she said firmly. "This apartment is too big for one person. Darren and I need it more than you." I waited for her to smirk, for the punchline to land. But it never came. She truly believed she could just take my home. Let me rewind a little. I grew up in Milwaukee, in a working-class family. Nothing was ever handed to us. My parents worked long hours, but money was always tight. If I wanted something, I had to earn it. And that's exactly what I did. I worked through high school, through college, through my 20s. I saved every dime I could. I watched friends jet off to Cancun, buy shiny Camrys, dine at steakhouses whenever they wanted. Meanwhile, I was living off instant noodles, hustling side jobs all for one purpose, to one day own my own place. And after years of sacrifice, I finally did it. I bought a modest 2-bedroom apartment in Albuquerque. It wasn't luxurious, but it was mine. Every month, instead of throwing money away, I poured it into my mortgage. And after years, I made that final payment. No loans. No debt. Just me, my place, and peace of mind. Then Clarissa decided she had a right to it. She'd married my younger brother Darren about 5 years earlier. From day one, she acted like she was above everyone else. She came from a family with money, not rich, but comfortable enough, and she never let us forget it. She had something to say about everything. Our clothes. The diners we ate at instead of fine dining. Even the inexpensive gifts we gave during the holidays. But the thing she looked down on most. My apartment. "It's so tiny," she said the first time she walked in, wrinkling her nose. "I could never live somewhere like this." Fast forward a few years, and suddenly, she wanted it. The day she showed up at my door alone, I should have known something was wrong. She never came without Darren. Usually, she avoided me altogether. But this time, she barged right in, looking around like she was inspecting property that already belonged to her. Then she turned to me and said, "So, we've made a decision." Her tone made me uneasy. "This apartment," she continued slowly, "is a family asset now." I blinked. "A what?" "A family asset," she repeated as if saying it twice would make it logical. "You've had it long enough, and now that it's fully paid off, it belongs to the family." I stared at her. "No. It belongs to me. I worked for it. I paid for it." She waved a dismissive hand. "Sure, but you don't need all this space. Darren and I have a child. You don't." That's when I burst out laughing. I didn't even mean to. It just slipped out. "What's so funny?" she snapped. Still chuckling, I said, "You actually think you can just, what? Claim my home?" "It's not about claiming," she said, rolling her eyes. "It's about what's fair. We're a family. We need the space. You can find somewhere else." "You're out of your mind," I told her. She huffed. "Darren and I spoke to Mom and Dad, and they agree this is best for the family." And there it was. My parents always siding with Darren. He was their golden boy. The one who could do no wrong. Meanwhile, I was always the one expected to be responsible, understanding, selfless. If Darren broke something, it was somehow my fault. If he failed a test, I should have helped him study. And if I ever complained, I was selfish. So no, I wasn't surprised my parents backed her. But I wasn't about to roll over. I stepped in close, dropped my voice to a whisper, and told Clarissa something that made her face drain of color. She staggered back, then screamed loud, dramatic, like the world had ended. "And me?" I just laughed again. By the next morning, my phone was blowing up. Mom, Dad, an aunt. Even cousins I hadn't spoken to in years. Every single one of them telling me I was selfish. That Darren and Clarissa needed the apartment more than me. That I should just give it up. That evening, Darren himself showed up at my door. "Can we talk?" he asked, shifting uncomfortably. "Talk," I said flatly. He sighed. "Look, I know Clarissa can be a little strong-willed." "That's one way to put it," I muttered. "But this isn't just about her. It's about family. Mom and Dad think this is best. I think it's best. For all of us. For all of us. Or for you." I shot back. "You're just one person," he said. "We're a family. We need the space." I raised an eyebrow. "You live in a 3-bedroom house, Darren. The rent is expensive," he admitted. "Not my problem," I said. He shifted nervously. "You don't even use your second bedroom." I leaned against the doorframe, staring him down. "Do you hear yourself right now?" He didn't answer. So I told him something that made him go pale. "I looked up your lease. You can't break it without paying 3 months upfront." His silence told me everything. And that's when it clicked. This wasn't about wanting my place. They needed it. Because they couldn't afford their own. A week later, a friend who worked at a real estate office in Santa Fe called me. "You won't believe this," she said. "But Darren and Clarissa applied for a mortgage last year. They got denied. Bad credit. High debt. Everything made sense. They weren't just greedy, they were desperate. When Mom invited me to a family dinner, I knew exactly what it was. A setup. An ambush to pressure me into giving up my home. But I went anyway, prepared. That night, I walked into my parents' house like a soldier ready for battle. The table was set, everyone waiting for me. And right on cue, Mom started in. "We all agree, honey. It's time to do what's best for the family. Darren and Clarissa need your apartment more than you." I leaned back, calm. "So, let me get this straight. You want me to just hand them my home?" "Not hand it over," Dad corrected. "Just let them stay there. For free." I laughed out loud. "And where am I supposed to live?" Mom waved her hand. "You could get a nice little apartment. You don't need that much space." There it was again. That word. Need. I locked eyes with Darren. "You already tried to buy a house last year, didn't you? Got denied because of your debt." His face went white. "Thousands of dollars in debt," I added. Clarissa slammed her hand on the table. "You have no right digging into our finances. And you have no right to take my home," I shot back. Mom's eyes widened. "Is this true?" she asked Darren. He couldn't even look up. Silence. The room shifted. For the first time, my parents' blind loyalty cracked. I stood. "I hope this was worth it," I told Clarissa. "Because you just lost any chance of ever getting anything from me." She glared. "You'll regret this." I smirked. "Try me." 2 weeks later, I came home to find scratches on my lock. Someone had tried to break in. And I didn't need to guess who. But instead of changing my locks and moving on, I played smarter. I installed hidden cameras, upgraded my security system, and waited. 3 nights later, at 2:37 a.m., my phone buzzed. Motion detected. I opened the live feed. And there she was. Clarissa. At my door. With a screwdriver, trying to break in. I recorded everything, then called the cops. 7 minutes later, she was face down on the floor, cuffed. It was beautiful. She got arrested for attempted burglary. And because she was already on probation for a past fraud charge, she ended up serving 3 months in jail. Darren and my parents begged me to drop charges. I laughed in their faces. Within 6 months, Darren and Clarissa were evicted. Buried in debt. He lost his accounting job when her record popped up on his background check. They had to move in with her parents in El Paso. And me. I kept my apartment. My peace. My self-respect. The lesson. Some people think family means they can take from you. Walk all over you. Guilt trip you into giving up what's yours. But the only way to stop them is to make sure they regret it. And believe me, Darren and Clarissa will never forget the day they tried to steal from me. And that is how everything unfolded. If you've stayed with me through this story, thank you for listening. If you enjoyed it, I'd love for you to tap the like button, it really helps more than you know. And if you'd like to hear more stories like this one, don't forget to subscribe, and maybe even turn on the little bell, so you'll always know when a new one is ready. Until then, I'll see you in the next story.